Imagine stepping into a home filled with fresh, clean air, where every breath feels rejuvenating. What if I told you that the secret to a healthier, happier home might be as simple as adding a few green companions? Throughout history, plants have played a crucial role in human well-being, not just as food and medicine, but as sacred symbols of life, renewal, and spiritual awakening. In Buddhism, nature is often seen as a reflection of the Dharma, teaching us patience, resilience, and harmony. But beyond their spiritual meaning, certain plants possess powerful abilities to cleanse our environment, purify the air we breathe, and bring balance into our living spaces. Today, we'll explore 7 of the healthiest plants to have in your home, their profound benefits, and how they align with Buddhist teachings on well-being and mindfulness. But before we dive into our list, let me share a story, one that reveals just how deeply plants can impact our lives. Many years ago, in a remote monastery nestled in the mountains of Japan, there was a young monk named Haruto. Haruto struggled with his meditation practice. His thoughts were restless, and he found it hard to cultivate inner peace. His teacher, a wise old monk, noticed his frustration and handed him a small potted plant, a weak, withered peace lily. "Take care of this plant," the old monk said. "Observe it daily, water it mindfully, and nurture it with patience. When this plant flourishes, so will your mind." Haruto was puzzled but followed his teacher's advice. Over time, he realized that in order for the plant to thrive, he had to be mindful of its needs, the right amount of light, water, and care. Slowly, as he cared for the plant, his own mind calmed. He began to understand that just like the plant, his thoughts needed nourishment, not force. Months passed, and the once withered plant grew strong and vibrant. In the process, Haruto himself had transformed. His meditations became deeper, and his spirit more at ease. This story beautifully illustrates how plants do more than decorate our homes. They teach us patience, mindfulness, and the power of small, consistent actions. Now, let's explore the 7 most beneficial plants to have in your home, and the wisdom they carry. 1. Peace lily, Spathiphyllum, the silent purifier. The peace lily is more than just a houseplant. It is a symbol of balance, purification, and silent transformation. Scientifically, it serves as an air purifier, filtering out common household toxins such as formaldehyde, benzene, and ammonia, which are often emitted from cleaning supplies, synthetic fabrics, and even furniture. These toxins accumulate in the air, subtly deteriorating respiratory health and mental clarity. Yet, this elegant plant, with its broad, dark green leaves and delicate white bloom, works quietly to neutralize these invisible threats, restoring harmony to our living spaces. But the real power of the peace lily extends beyond its ability to cleanse the air. It serves as a metaphor for spiritual purification and inner peace. In Buddhist philosophy, the process of removing impurities is not limited to the external world. Just as a peace lily absorbs toxins from its environment, the practice of meditation and mindfulness filters out negative emotions, attachments, and distractions that cloud our consciousness. The Buddha often taught that the path to enlightenment begins with purification of the mind, the body, and the soul. When our inner world is free from toxic thoughts and emotions, we become more present, more attuned to reality, and more capable of experiencing true peace. The peace lily thrives in low to medium light conditions, which serves as a quiet lesson about the importance of resilience in difficult environments. Many people believe that personal growth can only occur under perfect circumstances, when they have the right job, the right relationships, or the ideal setting to flourish. But just like the peace lily, which blooms beautifully in shade, we, too, have the capacity to thrive in less than ideal circumstances. The conditions do not define the plant. Rather, its ability to adapt and purify makes it invaluable. Similarly, Our inner strength is not measured by the absence of challenges, but by our ability to remain grounded in the face of them. Caring for a peace lily requires mindfulness and a sense of balance. It should be watered enough to keep the soil moist, but not overly saturated. Overwatering can suffocate the roots, while underwatering can cause the plant to wilt. This delicate balance mirrors the Buddhist principle of the middle way, avoiding extremes in all aspects of life. Too much indulgence leads to attachment, while too much deprivation leads to suffering. The key to both plant care and spiritual well-being lies in moderation, knowing when to nourish, when to step back, and when to allow growth to unfold naturally. A fascinating real-life example comes from a woman who had been suffering from chronic migraines for years. After exhausting numerous medical treatments, she stumbled upon an article about air-purifying plants and decided to introduce a peace lily into her bedroom. Within a few weeks, she noticed a significant improvement in the quality of her sleep and a reduction in the frequency of her headaches. What had once seemed like an impossible problem found relief in the simplest of solutions: cleaner air, less stress, and a more calming environment. This serves as a reminder that not all healing comes from external interventions. Sometimes, the simplest acts like adding a plant to a room, taking a deep breath, or practicing mindfulness can bring about the most profound transformations. The peace lily is not just a plant, it is a teacher, silently reminding us that true purity is achieved not through force, but through patience, presence, and the quiet commitment to growth. 2. Golden Pothos, Epipremnum aureum, the ever-adapting survivor. Golden pothos, also known as devil's ivy, is often celebrated as the ultimate survivor in the plant world. Unlike many delicate houseplants that require constant care, golden pothos thrives under nearly any condition, whether it is placed in a bright, sunlit room or tucked into a shadowed corner, whether it is watered consistently or occasionally neglected. This plant continues to grow, adapting seamlessly to its environment. This resilience makes it a powerful symbol of flexibility, perseverance, and the ability to thrive in the face of uncertainty. From a scientific perspective, golden pothos is an efficient air purifier, removing harmful toxins such as formaldehyde, carbon monoxide, and benzene. These pollutants, which are commonly found in household cleaning products and synthetic materials, can accumulate over time, leading to fatigue, respiratory issues, and brain fog. Yet, Pothos silently works to cleanse these invisible dangers, allowing those who keep it in their homes to breathe easier and live healthier. But the lessons of golden pothos go far beyond air purification. In Buddhism, adaptability is a crucial virtue. Life is inherently unpredictable, and clinging to rigid expectations only leads to suffering. The impermanence, anicca, of all things is a central teaching of the Buddha. Everything changes, nothing is fixed, and resisting this natural flow only creates tension and distress. The golden pothos thrives because it embraces change rather than fighting it. Whether faced with light or darkness, abundance or scarcity, it continues to grow in whatever way it can. A living example of how we, too, can find peace in every situation. In Zen Buddhism, there is a well-known analogy comparing the mind to water. When water encounters an obstacle, it does not resist or try to break through. Instead, it flows around it, over it, or even through it, depending on the conditions. Golden pothos follows the same principle. It doesn't demand perfect conditions, but instead finds a way to adapt, whether by trailing down from a hanging basket, climbing up a trellis, or simply growing outward in whatever direction allows it to thrive. This is a powerful metaphor for how we should approach life's challenges, not by rigidly clinging to expectations, but by adjusting, evolving, and finding our own way forward. Taking care of a golden pothos is remarkably simple, and in its simplicity, teaches a valuable lesson about balance and moderation It only needs to be watered when the soil is dry. Too much water can drown the roots, while too little can cause it to wilt. It can grow in both bright and dim environments, but excessive exposure to direct sunlight may cause its leaves to burn. In this way, Pothos reminds us that life requires balance. Whether in our personal relationships, our work, or our spiritual path, excess leads to exhaustion, while neglect leads to stagnation. Growth happens when we learn to respond appropriately to the moment, neither forcing nor withdrawing, but finding the rhythm that allows us to flourish. A compelling example comes from a young entrepreneur who was struggling with the stress of running his own business. The unpredictability of his work made him anxious. Some months were financially successful, while others were filled with setbacks. The uncertainty of it all weighed heavily on him, making him doubt his ability to succeed. One day, while visiting his mentor, he noticed a thriving golden pothos in the office. The plant had grown in multiple directions, its vines cascading over the bookshelf, some climbing up the walls, others hanging freely. Intrigued, he asked his mentor about it. His mentor simply smiled and said, "This plant doesn't demand perfect conditions. It grows wherever it can, taking advantage of the opportunities it's given. You need to learn to do the same." That conversation changed his perspective. Instead of resisting the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, he began to see them as natural and inevitable. He embraced uncertainty, adjusted his expectations, and found ways to adapt rather than resist. Over time, his stress lessened, his confidence grew, and, much like the pothos, he learned to thrive in whatever conditions life presented. The golden pothos, in its quiet way, teaches resilience, adaptability, and the power of letting go. By keeping this plant in our homes, we are not just inviting cleaner air, but also a reminder of how to navigate life with grace and flexibility in a world that is constantly changing. Those who learn to flow rather than resist will always find a way to thrive. 3. Spider plant, Chlorophytum comosum, the fast healer. The spider plant is one of nature's most efficient purifiers, working at an astonishing speed to detoxify the air in any given space. Studies have shown that it can remove up to 95% of harmful toxins within just 24 hours, making it one of the most effective houseplants for improving indoor air quality. Among its greatest strengths is its ability to absorb carbon monoxide and formaldehyde, two invisible but dangerous pollutants commonly found in homes due to smoke, cooking, synthetic furniture, and even poorly ventilated rooms. While many plants take time to filter air, the spider plant acts quickly, showing immediate benefits in any environment where it is placed. This unique ability closely mirrors the concept of instant karma in Buddhist teachings. While many perceive karma as something that unfolds over multiple lifetimes, Buddhism also teaches that certain actions have immediate consequences. Just as a spider plant swiftly removes toxins and improves air quality in real time, our words, thoughts, and actions influence our well-being and relationships in the present moment. A kind word spoken can brighten someone's day instantly, just as an angry outburst can create immediate suffering. The spider plant is a powerful symbol of how our choices directly impact the energy around us, reinforcing the importance of maintaining a pure and healthy environment both physically and spiritually. One of the reasons this plant is widely loved is because of its effortless care requirements. It thrives in indirect sunlight, making it suitable for homes, offices, and even meditation spaces with limited natural light. Unlike some plants that demand meticulous watering schedules, the spider plant requires only evenly moist soil, ensuring that it remains hydrated without being overwatered. Furthermore, it is completely safe for pets and children, making it a worry-free choice for families seeking to cultivate a healthier living space. A particularly insightful example comes from a meditation teacher in Thailand. who decided to introduce spider plants into his meditation hall. Before adding the plants, his students often complained about fatigue, headaches, and a lack of focus. However, after placing multiple spider plants around the room, he noticed a remarkable shift. The fresh, oxygen-rich air contributed to a clearer, more serene atmosphere, and his students became noticeably more present and focused during their practice. This simple yet profound change reinforces a fundamental truth. Our external environment shapes our internal state. Just as a polluted space clouds the mind, a purified space fosters clarity. In the same way, when we surround ourselves with uplifting people, positive influences, and mindful choices, we naturally cultivate an inner environment that is more peaceful, vibrant, and conducive to growth. 4. Snake plant, Sansevieria, the eternal guardian. The snake plant is a truly unique force in the plant kingdom, standing as a tireless protector of health and energy. Unlike most plants that release oxygen primarily during the day, the snake plant continues its work even while we sleep, producing oxygen throughout the night. This extraordinary trait makes it one of the best plants for bedrooms, ensuring that the air remains fresh and rich in oxygen during the most crucial hours of rest. Additionally, the snake plant is highly effective at filtering out harmful toxins, including benzene and formaldehyde, which are commonly found in household cleaning products, synthetic materials, and industrial emissions. Beyond its biological benefits, the snake plant carries deep spiritual symbolism, closely resembling the Naga, or serpent deity. In Buddhist tradition, in various Buddhist texts, the Naga is depicted as a guardian of wisdom, truth, and sacred teachings, protecting temples, scriptures, and even the Buddha himself. Just as the Naga stands watch over the Dharma, the snake plant stands tall, guarding our space, purifying the air, and ensuring that we are protected even in our most vulnerable state, sleep. Its long, upright leaves resemble the poised stance of a guardian, silently working to ward off negativity and provide a sanctuary of peace. One of the greatest strengths of the snake plant is its resilience and low-maintenance nature. It thrives in low-light conditions, making it ideal for rooms that do not receive direct sunlight. Unlike delicate plants that require constant attention, the snake plant only needs to be watered when the soil is completely dry, making it perfect for those with busy lifestyles. Even if neglected for weeks, it remains steadfast, continuing to purify the air and provide benefits without demanding anything in return. A powerful real-life example comes from a woman who had suffered from chronic insomnia for years. She had tried numerous remedies, from herbal teas to sleep therapy, but nothing seemed to work. Upon researching natural ways to improve sleep quality, she came across the snake plant's ability to release oxygen at night. She placed one beside her bed, and over the next few weeks, she began to experience deeper sleep and improved breathing. She would wake up feeling more refreshed and less fatigued, realizing that something as simple as purifying the air in her room had a profound impact on her well-being. This is a lesson in how seemingly small changes can lead to profound transformations. We often believe that major improvements in life require drastic measures, but sometimes it is the simplest adjustments, cleaner air, a more mindful routine, or a small shift in perspective that create the greatest results. The snake plant, in its silent and unwavering way, teaches us that protection, purification, and transformation do not always require effort. They simply require presence and patience. 5. English ivy, Heterohelix, the airborne healer. English ivy is a powerful plant for purification, particularly in its ability to eliminate airborne mold and allergens, which makes it an essential companion for those suffering from asthma, allergies, and respiratory issues. Unlike many plants that focus solely on filtering chemical toxins, English ivy goes a step further, removing biological pollutants that can trigger inflammation and breathing difficulties. Mold spores, dust, and microscopic allergens are some of the most common yet invisible threats to respiratory health. And English ivy absorbs and neutralizes them, creating a healthier and more breathable environment. The spiritual significance of English ivy is deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings on purification. Just as this plant absorbs and eliminates harmful particles from the air, Buddhist practice teaches that we must actively cleanse our minds of toxic emotions, anger, attachment, and ignorance. These mental impurities, much like mold spores, may not always be visible, but they subtly contaminate our inner world, causing suffering and imbalance. The Buddha emphasized the importance of purification through right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, encouraging practitioners to cultivate a mind that is as clear and untainted as a purified space. Caring for English ivy is relatively simple, though it requires awareness and placement considerations. It thrives in indirect light and prefers its soil to be slightly dry, meaning overwatering should be avoided. However, one essential aspect to be mindful of is that English ivy is toxic to pets if ingested, so it should be placed strategically in homes with animals. This serves as a metaphor for mindful living. While something may be beneficial for us, it may not necessarily be suitable for others. This reminds us to be conscious of our actions and surroundings, ensuring that we cultivate an environment that is harmonious for everyone. English ivy's ability to remove airborne mold is particularly significant. For those who suffer from chronic allergies or respiratory conditions, a fascinating study conducted by NASA found that English ivy can reduce up to 60% of airborne mold within 6 hours, making it one of the most effective natural solutions for improving indoor air quality. This aligns beautifully with the Buddhist teaching that purification leads to clarity and relief from suffering. Whether it is the purification of space, breath, or the mind, the result is the same: a greater sense of ease and well-being. The lessons English ivy teaches us extend far beyond air quality. It reminds us of the importance of actively removing negativity rather than allowing it to accumulate. Just as this plant consistently cleanses its environment, we, too, must be diligent in cleansing our thoughts, habits, and emotional attachments. Purification is not a one-time effort. It is a continuous process, one that requires patience, mindfulness, and intention. In surrounding ourselves with plants like English ivy, we are not just improving the air we breathe, we are reinforcing the practice of conscious purification and intentional living, ensuring that both our external and internal worlds remain clear, healthy, and aligned with well-being. 6. Aloe vera, the living medicine. Aloe vera has long been known for its healing properties, with its gel used to soothe burns, wounds, and skin irritations. Beyond external use, aloe also supports digestion, immunity, and detoxification, making it a powerful natural remedy. It thrives in harsh environments, storing water in its leaves, symbolizing resilience and inner strength. In Buddhism, the concept of self-healing aligns with aloe vera's qualities. The Buddha taught that healing begins from within, whether physical or emotional. True recovery requires awareness, patience, and balance. Just as aloe vera doesn't force its healing, the body and mind restore themselves naturally when given the right conditions. Meditation, self-awareness, and detachment from desires serve as the internal balm for emotional wounds, much like aloe vera soothes external burns. Caring for aloe vera teaches us moderation. It needs bright, indirect sunlight, but not too much, and it thrives with minimal watering. Overindulgence, even in nourishment, can be harmful. This reflects the Buddhist middle way, where balance leads to sustainable well-being. In a Nepalese monastery, monks use aloe vera not just for physical healing, but also as part of fasting practices, believing it purifies the body and mind. Its ability to store nourishment and offer healing when needed reflects wisdom and patience, reminding us that healing unfolds in its own time. Like aloe vera, we must cultivate self-care and resilience, trusting that growth and recovery happen when we create the right conditions. 7. Rubber plant, Ficus elastica, the giant purifier. The rubber plant is a powerful air purifier, absorbing toxins like formaldehyde and VOCs through its broad, waxy leaves. Unlike smaller houseplants, it stands tall, filtering air on a larger scale, making it a natural guardian of indoor spaces. Its ability to transform its environment reflects growth and expansion, key principles in Buddhist teachings. In Buddhism, spiritual growth is gradual, much like how the rubber plant steadily develops strong roots and thick leaves. The Buddha likened wisdom to a tree growing from a seed, emphasizing consistency over speed. True enlightenment unfolds through mindful practice and self-discipline, not sudden realization. The rubber plant, resilient and adaptable, mirrors this process, steadily purifying its space while continuing to expand. Caring for a rubber plant requires regular maintenance. It thrives in bright, indirect light but can be harmed by too much sun, teaching us that too much stimulation can be overwhelming. While too little leads to stagnation, its leaves need occasional cleaning, much like how we must purify our thoughts through mindfulness and self-reflection. At a meditation center in Japan, the presence of rubber plants improved focus and reduced fatigue among practitioners. This reinforces the Buddhist idea that external purification leads to internal harmony. A clean, balanced space fosters mental clarity and well-being. The rubber plant also symbolizes compassion and interconnectedness. As it grows, it spreads outward, much like how kindness and wisdom should be shared. Just as a tree provides shade for all, our spiritual growth should benefit not just ourselves, but those around us. In this way, the rubber plant teaches us that true transformation is not just personal, it is meant to uplift the world. Now that you've learned about the incredible benefits these plants can bring to your life, improving air quality, healing your body and mind, and connecting you to nature's wisdom, it's time to take the next step. Which plant are you most excited to welcome into your space? Leave a comment below to share your thoughts with us, and tell us how you plan to bring these healing plants into your home. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share it with your friends who would love to experience the power of nature's healers. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Buddhist Echoes so you never miss out on more enlightening content that connects nature, mindfulness, and well-being. Thank you for watching. And remember, growth is not just for plants, but for us too. Let's nurture ourselves and our surroundings together.